My dad was first a professional football player and later a college coach, so you move a lot. If you're doing good, you move. If you're not doing so good, you move. So we lived in several different places, went back to Texas finally, mostly Amarillo. I graduated from high school in Amarillo. I was the oldest of 4 boys, and I wanted to study, I was interested in math, physics, all that stuff. I wanted to study engineering. So I had applied and been accepted at the University of Texas. Now, we lived, only 120 miles from Lubbock, but Lubbock, oh man, I played high school sports in Lubbock, and it always was a dust storm. And I didn't want to go there. And of course, Austin was 600 miles away. Actually, we're as close to Lubbock as Amarillo is to Austin, to give you an idea. So that was pretty exotic. That's where I wanted to go. My dad had been talking up New Mexico State. He had this connection with all these old football coaches, and he knew the head coach there, Warren Woodson, who had been the head coach here at U of A in the 52 through 57 roughly time. So they got this program down there for engineering majors where you can work and go to school and work out at White Sands. Is pretty exciting. Well, for a Texas kid, New Mexico was a third world country. You went to New Mexico to deer hunt and to ski at Ruidoso. Otherwise, you didn't go there. Well, his dad said today it'd be way too late, but one day in late May, just after graduation from high school, he said, well, how are you going to finance this deal? I thought, son of a gun, hadn't thought about that. So, you got right behind you got Steve and Jim and Kent. We can help you all out a little bit, but you boys are going to have to pull most of your weight. So I fired off a letter to New Mexico State, an application, got a nice letter back. Shortly thereafter, I've been accepted to the University College of Engineering. Since, unfortunately, all of the slots for the White Sands Missile Range Co-op program are filled. However, if you're willing to consider travel beyond the borders of the continental U.S., we have another oh, son of a gun. So I quickly filled out this application they sent me and worked my way through college as a electronic tech on a classified Navy program called Project Transit, which was a navigational thing, and it graduated into what we now call GPS. But it paid my whole college. I got out, I was able to join a fraternity, take girls to beer bus and dinners, graduated with no debt. I did have to sell some books for a little change because I've been spending pretty heavily the last couple of years. Anyhow, that was a great, a wonderful experience. Went to work for Vietnam War was really heating up in 1966. Went to work for Motorola's Military Electronics Division up in Scottsdale. And there were about 40 brand new engineers that year in Motorola. We were working on military stuff, mostly for the Air Force. I was in missile fusing, missile guidance systems, and bomb fusing. And they applied for draft deferments. Well, this took about 8 months or 9 months. And finally, everybody got their responses back, and me and a black kid from Tennessee were the only 2 who did not get a deferment. So the company appealed that. Anyhow, I was there 2 years, run out of appeals. I was really thinking of joining the Air Force when Bell System had interviewed me and offered me a job when I was getting out of school, and I passed over them. They came back again with a better offer. I said, well, I'm 1A, so that's okay. We can get you a 1-year deferment, and after that, if you go into the military, if we like you, we'll take you back when you get out. And there was a special rapid so-called high-risk, high-gain management program. Anyhow, I went. By the time the year was up, I was married. I was past 26. So, spent about 30 years. And when I went to Albuquerque with a telephone company, I fell into the red-blooded American boy's dream. I met a pretty girl whose daddy owned a liquor store and the best steakhouse in town and married her, and you all have met Pat. But we're about to celebrate our 47th. We're in our 47th year now. I was mostly in engineering and construction kind of stuff, had a lot of fun. It was really, I had this idea of the phone company. I'd just seen those little green trucks. Remember when they were green? Now they're white with these stripes. They used to be green. Didn't seem very interesting. Actually, it was really fun. I did things like negotiated right away with the Hopi Indians across their reservation, which was really an experience. Wound up with dealing with a cowboy who claimed to have been knocked off his horse by one of our low-hanging wires. Oh, just a lot of fun stuff. I was at AT&T headquarters in New York for a few years as a financial analyst. Retired in 1997. We'd been here in Tucson from 83 to about 90, and I was a member of this Rotary Club then. When we came back, because of my job here, I'd been in a number of different organizations and community service groups. And my wife said, wouldn't you like, she knew I always really had fun at Rotary. Wouldn't you like to get back in? Well, yeah, I would. So I ran into Sandy and Sue down at the Safeway at Bear Canyon in Tanque Verde, and Sandy says, put the arm on me, and sure enough, son of a gun, here I was, back in Rincon Rotary. So I'm happy to be here. I was still, at that time, I'd been retired a couple of years, but working as a consultant. I really enjoyed, I enjoy the club, the service projects we do. You know, it just makes you proud to be able to help your community. And my little stints as Sergeant of Arms, which I guess I'm partly, Scott and I are sharing that job this year. It's fun. I swear, Sandy and I have compared notes. I think it's probably the best job in Rotary, and I know many of you have had that job. It's fun. So anyway, that's my story. Thank you.